What's poppin', everyone? Is Little Hope Plays. We are back for not just a normal week of the PBO, the Pokemon Battle Organization of Draft League format on Pokemon Showdown, but a next round of playoffs, which is pretty huge. We are also going to be going over this is semifinals as well as finals. So we will determine. Wait, we don't get to determine. We will watch who has won the Kalos Championship today. For many people that aren't within the division, that don't already know. But yeah, we're gonna go through it. Lots of great games today. I don't think I'm gonna review them too much. Mostly because there wasn't really like a lot of misplays. But we'll talk about like some crucial turns or whatever. So. Going into this, we have, for the semifinals, we have Pittsburgh Scissors in the bottom right with the team roster in the bottom right against the Sonoran Pikachus in the top right with the team roster in the top right. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into this. So Sonoran Pikachu is deciding to bring Decidueye, Dunsparce, Swaruledge, Enamorous T, Sableye, and Tauros Paldea Blaze versus Pittsburgh Scissor deciding to bring Screamtail, Iron Treads, Honchkrow, Slitherwing, Salazzle, and Rotom. So let's go right into this batch. Salazzle is the lead against Tauros Paldea Blaze. You're going to see an immediate Sludge Bomb doing over half with a poison to Tauros. As Tauros goes for an EQ, brings down Salazzle to its sash, but ultimately Salazzle will kill this in the following turn. So meaning Sableye is the switch in. Takes a resisted hit, but still takes a lot. Plus, poison damage is going to do a lot of damage to Sableye as we see a switch into Honchkrow here. Obviously, very effective for any of Sableye's prankster shenanigans as Sableye goes for Nightshade. Gets some decent chip off. Next, we're going to see Enamorous T come in on the U-turn from Honchkrow. Very good switch initiative there as Rotom Mow coming in. And there's no Volt Switch immunity, so that Rotom Mow will be freely able to Volt Switch, getting a clean 22% off. A chip on Decidueye is very powerful. You're going to see Slitherwing come in. Decidueye also wanting to switch out there. Another U-turn, so pretty good switch initiative going on here for Pittsburgh Scissors, and immediately catching the Enamorous T, hoping to catch a switch out or the Volt Switch. Enamorous T was trying to punish a potential Volt Switch there, but Rotom Mow just going straight up for the Thunderbolt does enough damage. We're going to see Dunsparce come in here. Takes a 32% from Thunderbolt. That's definitely choice specs for Rotom at this point. We're going to see Dunsparce kind of go for this coil strategy as we've seen before. But of course, when you're taking that much damage, it is pretty scary to keep up this coil shenanigans because you're only doing, it looks like it's a 3-hit KO. So you are very reliant on Dunsparce getting its Serene Grace ability for the body slams, which is 60%. But surprisingly, you know, you don't get it the first time. Let's see if we can get it the other time. We're gonna see a whole bunch of Thunderbolt spams. Ultimately, another coil coming out from Dunsparce instead of a body slam. We are going to see them continue to roost, but as you can tell, they are running low on roosts. We're at 3 roosts now. So with only 3 roosts remaining, we really want to see Dunsparce picking up a kill here, but it does not, and no para as well. So it looks like Dunsparce is going to hold on for dear life here, but after this one, it's going to have either 1 or no roost left beyond this point. So Dunsparce is going to be taking a lot of damage, and then it's going to go for a body slam, is able to pick up that KO. Honchkrow coming in now, showing off the haze to get rid of the stats. Another body slam coming out, and again, no paralysis. That is very unlucky for the Dunsparce. Iron Treads coming out for the booster energy, as well as taking another body slam with no paralysis as well. Heavy slam coming out. Maybe this Dunsparce isn't Serene Grace, who knows? But we see the final roost is used up on Dunsparce as we see a double actually in a Honchkrow and another double in the Tauros Paldea Blaze. We see a Sucker Punch come out from the Honchkrow, but it is not to pick up the KO, but with poison damage it is able to kill. So now we're going to see Swaruledge come out. A switch into Salazzle as Swaruledge actually goes for a substitute. And then we're going to see a Sludge Bomb actually break Swaruledge substitute as Swaruledge goes for a Tera Blast. Iron Treads coming out. Obviously can take 1, so Decidueye has to be the switch in. Takes the EQ pretty well actually. We're going to see a switch into Screamtail here on the knockoff. Screamtail, a very good Wish Baton Passer. I believe does get Baton Pass, maybe it's just Protect. Also sets up Stealth Rock as Swaruledge comes in for the Decidueye. Now we are going to see Slitherwing come in here on a Bitterblade and actually one shot. So now it is 3 to 4, folks. it is getting pretty scary for the Pittsburgh Scissors here. Ceruledge is going to switch out on Decidueye. Knockoff coming out though, very important to take down those heavy duty boots. Ice Spinner coming out as well on the Iron Treads. Not doing enough though, as Decidueye is able to roost it all off. But we are able to see Screamtail come out here. Wants to go for a wish to ultimately get in the Honchkrow for free, as Decidueye does have to double back into Dunsparce. So now a Brave Bird coming out from Honchkrow is going to give it the +1 Moxie attack. And then we see Ceruledge coming in here. So now, substitute on the Ceruledge, it is another Brave Bird from Honchkrow. It's Honchkrow playing as if this thing is Scarf. Another Brave Bird coming out. So now that it's low HP, are we going to see Ceruledge actually Tera? And then finally the Sucker Punch coming out with a crit. I don't know if that crit mattered, but that was insane. I'm actually, based off the calcs I ran after that, I'm pretty sure that crit mattered. I think it was very close. I think at +1 it definitely had a chance to kill. But also the reason why they were substituting there for Ceruledge is they actually needed the chip to kill the... Actually, did they need the chip? Now that I'm double thinking about it, Ceruledge could have just Tera Blasted there, and if he's Tera Fairy, Tera Blast, he kills this Honchkrow. I'm very surprised about the substitute. I could see it being advantageous against the Iron Treads, because beyond this point you just win, so I do understand substitute there. But I do think that if you just Tera Fairy'd, Tera Blast, you one-shot and you live the Sucker Punch. So I think that may have been a misplay there, but ultimately really good. Pittsburgh holding on showing that Sucker Punch. Obviously substitute was revealed earlier, but Brave Birding twice and then randomly deciding to choose a Sucker Punch on that turn. Really great play by the Pittsburgh Scissors there. The mind games are actually insane there. I don't know how you navigate that, but beyond this point, Honchkrow is faster than everything else, so it is going to Brave Bird twice, kill the Decidueye, and obviously kill the Sableye as well, and that's going to be a 2-0 victory for Pittsburgh Scissor. Moving on to the finals. Yeah, very huge match there. I think again would have been a different match. I don't know if it would have been a different match depending on that Sucker Punch crit. I do believe that did matter, but I do also think that Ceruledge could have Tera Fairy'd and also one-shot with Tera Blast at that range, as well as lived a Sucker Punch. And it looks like Ceruledge guaranteed was faster than Honchkrow. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's move on to the next semifinals match. All right, next semifinals match, we have the Marble Falls Miniors against the Kingston Cleavors. Kingston Cleavors looking to take back his revenge, as there was an extremely close week when they played during the regular season. We're going to see Marble Falls Miniors in the top right with their team roster, Kingston Cleavors with the team roster in the bottom right. Ultimately, Marble Falls Miniors decided to bring Lycanroc Dusk, which is their Tera Captain, Ursaluna, Klefki, Basculegion Female, Tornadus T, and Seviper, as Kingston Cleavors deciding to bring Glacier, Landorus T, Persian Alolan, Toxapex, Hawlucha, and Rillaboom. So let's go ahead and get right into the match. We are going to see a Persian Alolan lead into the Tornadus T. Torn T going for a U-turn. U-turns does show Life Orb as well. Ursaluna coming out on a Thunder Wave, very good prediction on Marble Falls' part, as we see a Parting Shot come out from the Alolan Persian and go into Rillaboom, ultimately threatening Rillaboom. Rillaboom does go for a bulk up, but obviously this Rillaboom is going to force it out. Torn T is the switch, as Rillaboom showing Taunt. Torn T obviously going for an Air Slash here, so showing Air Slash, actually not Hurricane. We're going to see a Baneful Bunker here from the Toxapex, which is actually a huge prediction, because that is ultimately getting a Toxic off on Torn T, ultimately whittling it down slowly every turn. And then again, U-turn the following turn, taking Rocky Helmet plus Life Orb damage. It's going to, Torn T is still going to get back up to a decent amount of damage, but it will be slightly below full HP. So Seviper coming in, as Toxapex goes for a T-Spike. So we're going to see a switch out from Toxapex into Persian Alolan, obviously scared of that glare coming out from Seviper, as Seviper then again doubles into Torn T, as Persian Alolan goes for a Parting Shot. Excellent switch initiative by Kingston Cleavors here, as Toxapex is the play once again, wants to honestly go get some residual chip on the Torn T. So we're going to see Torn T switch out, goes into Seviper, getting rid of the Toxic Spikes. Toxapex also going for a Surf, getting a decent amount of chip, but Seviper is showing Black Sludge. Following that up, Persian Alolan is the switch in. Actually, Giga Drain Seviper, which is pretty surprising, but I guess Seviper has decent special attack. So, yeah, we are going to see Seviper do decent damage. Then another switch into Torrentee as another parting shot comes out. So we're going to see a little bit of a cycle, but obviously Alolan Persian taking a little bit of damage. Now we see an offensive pivot by Kingston Cleavors deciding to bring out their Glacier on the Torrentee, trying to see what is Marble Falls' response to this. Tera Water from Glacier here. So Tera Water coming out on the Basculegion doing 25% with the Tera Blast is insane. Basculegion showing leftovers as well as Shadow Ball, but that is looking to be AV on the Glacier there. So 19% is literally nothing. As we see Crunch doing 72%, that Basculegion is very low at 15% now. We're going to see another double into Seviper as Tera Blast is another 50% to Seviper. That's actually insane. Followed that up by Persian Alolan. For the switch, obviously we were fearing a Giga Drain as well as a Glare there, so Seviper continuously going for Giga Drain is going to get off some really good chip on this Persian Alolan, and it is ultimately able to live another one as Persian Alolan goes for another parting shot, weakening this Viper. Obviously Lando T coming in here, and we are going to see Seviper switch out into Ursaluna actually, as U-turn damage does huge damage from that Lando T. In comes Hawlucha, and Ursaluna actually staying in here as a huge close combat from Hawlucha comes in and takes off the Ursaluna. That is definitely a huge threat gone for Kingston Cleavors. Torrentee comes out, obviously threatening the Hawlucha, so Toxapex is the switch in. U-turn again, Rocky Helmet plus Life Orb damage is good chip, but of course Regenerator will block all that. So Viper coming in again, obviously threatening this thing with Glare or something of the sort. We'll see it go for Glare here because Seviper will be able to Giga Drain Alolan Persian if it ever wants to come in. So Glare is pretty safe here. Yeah, we're going to see Persian Alolan come here, and then as I said before, it will freely Giga Drain to take out the Alolan Persian, which means that there's going to be a free switch here. So it's actually going to be Hawlucha going for a Brave Bird as Klefki is the switch. Still takes a lot at 33%. It's quite insane. But we do see red card Klefki, so forcing out the Hawlucha brings in Glacier. We are interested to see what's going to happen here. A double from Klefki into Seviper, surprisingly enough. You know, Glacier can run, I think, not Earthquake, but high horsepower, which would, in this case, hit both. But potentially they were fearing something else there, but we actually see the Glacier switch out as well, being scared of potential T-Wave. So Lando T coming out in this Viper, obviously threatening it out. So Torrentee is going to come out. Unfortunate, not misprediction there, I would guess. Lando T going for EQ and obviously looking like it's choice locked at this point, so it is going to have to switch out. Toxapex, U-turn. Again, that chip damage is really good, but ultimately it does have Regenerator. Seviper coming back out on Hawlucha this time. So we see a hard pivot from Toxapex into Hawlucha on this Viper, and then finally Seviper holding off to this tech. Final Gambit is able to actually take out the Hawlucha for the Seviper. That's a very good trade, because at this point Hawlucha is able to get off a lot of damage with Brave Bird and close combat. So Lando T coming back out as Klefki comes in. Klefki going for the Magnet Rise, but Lando T actually going for Brick Break, doing 34%, and then another Brick Break will take out Klefki as Klefki goes for one layer of spikes. Now we see Basculegion come in here. Obviously very good play, as you can see that Lando T is in some way Scarf or Bandit, unless it is hiding that fact. But we see Toxapex come in here. Does take a Shadow Ball. 35% is a lot of damage, and we see that Leftovers is starting to come back for the Basculegion. Another 29% as Toxapex is forced to recover here. Now we're going to see Basculegion go for a sub here with 28% left as Toxapex is going to recover up, and now we see a switch into Rillaboom as Basculegion goes for another Shadow Ball. It takes really a lot of damage with 41%, and that special defense drop is going to force out Rillaboom the following turn unless it wants to die to another Shadow Ball. So we are going to see a double back into Toxapex, and that Grassy Surge is going to give back Basculegion some health along with its leftovers. So we're even going to see that Basculegion even has Ice Beam for the Rillaboom. But yeah, with this 12% recovery every turn, Basculegion is starting to gain back a lot of health here. Another Shadow Ball coming out, doing another decent 32%, and we see that Surf unfortunately does not even break Basket Legion's sub. So Basket Legion effectively can 1v1 wall Toxpack at this point and can constantly sub up on it and can win this 1v1. So let's see if Kingston Cleavers can get out of this. So we're going to see him immediately switch into Rillaboom, takes the spike damage along with another Shadow Ball, and again, just to rub the salt in the wound, special defense drop again is really bad. And we are going to see that Rillaboom at this point, this is still pre-DLC, does not have access to Grassy Glide, meaning that this Rillaboom, if it was max speed, would outspeed this thing, but it is not max speed and actually dies to the next Shadow Ball. So an unfortunate sack there, but it does allow Glacier to come in at this point, which is Assault Vest, which can take this Basket Legion hits. So Shadow Ball doing 18%. We see Crunch finally come out, but Basket Legion able to get up back to 75% after that substitute is absolutely insane. So we're going to see that health really matter, as well as we know that Basket Legion, anytime Toxpax is in, can safely come in and substitute up and effectively start to whittle down Kingston's team. We're going to see a hard switch from Basket Legion into Lycanroc Dusk. Crunch doing 53% still. That is a lot of damage coming out from that Glacier. And then we're going to see a double from Glacier and a Lando T as Lycanroc decides to Tera Rock and go for an Excel Rock. And then finally we see an Endure on Lycanroc as Lando T goes for a Crunch. And then we see a Custap Endeavor strategy. But it looks like Kingston and Cleavars was actually predicting it because they decided to switch out into their Toxapex, hitting the Endeavor. So it takes Lycanroc, it takes Toxapex down to 1 HP, which is not a bad trade because ultimately Toxapex does lose the 1v1 to Basket Legion, as well as the Rocky Helmet chip will actually make Toxapex take out Lycanroc. So now we see Basket Legion come in here, of course wanting to go for another substitute, as Toxapex is going to go for a Recover. I think, looking back at it, I think the better play is probably go hard Glacier here and start crunching. I think that's your best bet to whittle this thing down, because obviously Basket Legion just in the end game you can't even PP stall Basket Legion, because I mean if Shadow Ball doesn't give you a special defense drop, then they can just freely surf because you're never winning, you're never damaging enough, doing enough damage where, you know, 2 surfs, there's only 24 surfs, meaning you only have 12 versus 14 subs left. You know, Basket Legion is winning that 1v1, but finally Glacier does come out, does take a spike damage, and is having to take an incoming surf. So good play in that part. That means that Glacier, I think, will be able to live one more, potentially. Oof, unfortunate. Shadow Ball to 16. I think it was a roll there. The roll was definitely in the Basket Legion's favor, but there could have been a min roll that kept Glacier alive there. As Lando T comes out, obviously goes for the Intimidate, but it doesn't matter. U-turn will break the sub, but as soon as Toxapex comes in, Basket Legion going for Ice Beam, it doesn't matter because Basket Legion can again set up a substitute and effectively 1v1 this Toxapex and whittle it down with Shadow Balls. Again, Basket Legion always wins this 1v1 in terms of Shadow Balls, even if Recover, I mean Recover still only has 3 PP left. You can even whittle it down with the amount of Shadow Balls that you have left and then make it use all of its recovers. Basket Legion wins this 1v1, and then as soon as Lando T comes out, you just freely Ice Beam and you still have your sub up. So as we can see, Basket Legion female with a subset actually came in super clutch for this match. Even the special defense drops from the Shadow Ball also very useful for taking down this Toxapex. But again, Basket Legion is in no fear of 1v1ing this Toxapex. So we can kind of see how the role of less PP for recovery moves this generation definitely plays a role in water types actually doing a better job taking down Toxapex. So very interesting to see. Now we see Lando T come in again on Basket Legion. Crunch is able to outspeed it, take out the sub, but again, Ice Beam is just going to one-shot. And that is going to be Marble Falls pushing into the finals. So we're going to see a finals match between Pittsburgh Scissors and Marble Falls. Again, I think the only, like, maybe there was a misplay of, you know, realizing too late in the game that Toxapex loses to Basket Legion here, but still, this is a fantastic game. Cannot be mad at all. I think that there was just potential for, instead of going hard Rillaboom, maybe hard Glacier because you are AV and try to threaten it out with Crunch, but ultimately, like, your Glacier is getting weakened down in the end and doesn't have great ways of getting recovery, so I understand not wanting to do that. So but yeah, without further ado, sorry, that was my take on a drum roll. we are going to be moving on to the finals match for the Kalos Division. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. If you are enjoying the PBO, if you have enjoyed this season, if you are excited for season 4, make sure that you like this video. But here we are, Kalos Finals. Marble Falls Miniors went undefeated this season, I think, right? Yeah, undefeated, on his way to the playoffs against the underdog, Pittsburgh Scissors. You can see Marble Falls deciding to bring Ursaluna, Cyclozar, Umbreon, Klefki, Tornadus T, and Lycanroc Dusk versus Pittsburgh Scissor having Goodra, Rotom, Mo, Screamtail, Iron Treads, Slitherwing, and Salazzle. So let's see how this match goes. We are going to see a Salazzle lead onto the Cyclozar, a taunt on the Cyclozar off the rip. Salazzle was not able to go for Toxic, a very good taunt just off the rip for Marble Falls Miniors there. As Iron Treads decided to switch in, activate the Quark Drive to get knocked off, so even less damage taken there. Very good way of utilizing the Quark Drive, but you only get one of it. So we are going to see a knockoff come out from the Iron Treads here. Gets rid of Cyclozar's heavy duty boots, may be really useful for Stealth Rock Screamtail in the future, as Cyclozar does decide to go for a U-turn, get off that chip, and go into Umbreon. Now we're going to see another knockoff from the Iron Treads. Really useful to get rid of all these abilities because Umbreon is very tanky, really good to get rid of that residual healing, which it definitely loves. We're going to see a Wish come out from Umbreon, and then it takes an Earthquake. 30% is not much at all. Wish, Baton Pass back into Cyclozar. So is Cyclozar the threat that Iron Treads needs to be worried about? But no, another switch into Tornadus T, taking an Ice Spinner, 72%. That is a lot of damage, but it is Rocky Helmet, so there is some chip there for the Iron Treads. But the following turn, Klefki coming in again on an Earthquake. Ooh, good predictions by the Pittsburgh Scissors here. Iron Treads going for Earthquake, 71% to Klefki. That is some excellent chip there. And then we're going to see a switcheroo from the Klefki, switches out, gives it a lagging tail. So now it's going to be slower, even with the Quark Drive boost. Very difficult for the Marble Falls to deal with this threat for sure. But with that lagging tail, it is going to be weakened severely. Umbreon coming on, but this time Iron Tread switching out as Slitherwing comes in, obviously threatening the Umbreon with a strong bug type move. Wish coming out, Wish, Protect on the Umbreon, as well as it does Scout for suppression. Very good play there. Trailblaze coming out from Slitherwing. Slitherwing is going to be a problem for Marble Falls' team at this point. We're going to see another Trailblaze actually, so no prediction there on the Slitherwing and no switch out on the Umbreon there. Very interesting. Baton Pass, slow Baton Pass into Tornadus T, but with the +1 speed, this Slitherwing can be Tera Electric. Let's see if it decides to go for it. Cyclozar switching in, so Torn T scouting for that, and it is Tera Electric Wild Charge. Doing 36% still is such a lot of damage. And now do we see, does this thing have close combat to take out the Cyclozar? Another switch to Scout, Torn T coming out. It does have close combat, 51%. Oh my goodness. Torn T is taking lots of damage, and it looks like this Slitherwing is really going to be putting in the work here, folks. Close combat, Rocky Helmet chip, of course, is annoying. Another close combat to take out the Tornadus. Nothing was switching into that close combat. Now we can see minus 2 defense, minus 2 special defense. Lycanroc obviously coming out threatening with an Excel Rock. Again, there's no way to really, play around this. You have to go for the Excel Rock there. The risk versus reward of, if you don't Excel Rock there, you're basically getting swept. So I can definitely see why that Excel Rock play was made. And then a close combat followed up by the Lycanroc. It's very good for the Iron Treads to basically stay in the Scout, because if they didn't have close combat, then Treads can obviously do some decent damage to whatever's left. But Lycanroc just picking up that close combat. You also know that it's not Scarf now, or Banded, or whatever it wants to be. And we can also see that's not Life Orb either. So now Rotom Mo coming in, threatening the Lycanroc. Protect on the Lycanroc, obviously for first impression reasons. Volt Switch coming out. So we are going to see a Volt Switch here. Most likely Ursaluna it is. So they are immune to the Volt Switch. And now this is important because Ursaluna is burned, meaning that it is Guts Facade, meaning Ursaluna is about to start putting in the work here. So Salazzle comes in as it goes for Facade, takes it down to Sash. Wonder what Salazzle is going to do at this point. Just try to get off that little bit of chip left, but Cyclizar coming in on an Endeavor on the Salazzle here. That's actually a insane tech. Really love that, especially since I think Marvel Falls decided to bring that last game. U-turn Cyclizar is able to take out the Salazzle, so they are going to U-turn. And they're actually not Regenerator, surprisingly enough. I think we forgot to acknowledge that earlier on, but it's actually not Regenerator Cyclizar, which is very, very interesting. I think that was a mistake on their team. It was supposed to be Regenerator, not Shedskin, but still. It did end up playing a role because obviously Cyclizar at 1% and did not get off a lot of residual healing this match. So, Rotom Mow coming out on Lycanroc. Again, another Protect to scout what they're going for, this time Leaf Storm. It is a little bit freer because basically there's no switching, but if it is Umbreon, I would be surprised to see how much it takes. Leaf Storm coming out doing 53%, but Leaf Storm is going to drop its special attack by 2. So is Rotom Mow going to stay in here, try to go for that kill, or are they going to switch out? It is going to be a switch out. Scream Tail coming in as Umbreon deciding to Baton Pass actually instead of going for Wish. I think that was a very good play because if the switch was ever Slitherwing, obviously now Marvel Falls is in a pretty bad position considering that Umbreon probably only has Wish, Baton Pass, Protect, and Foul Play. I still think Foul Play would have done a lot of damage there, but I think it is a very good play to Baton Pass there because obviously you're feeling Slitherwing coming in on Umbreon for free. Now we see Ursaluna come in on the Scream Tail, obviously going to be able to do a lot of damage. But we see Grass Knot on the Scream Tail, getting off a decent chunk of 38%, as Facade is going to do 80% to Scream Tail. That's a lot of damage. But we are going to see another Grass Knot plus burn damage is very, very close to taking out Ursaluna. So only has a little bit of gas in the tank, 4%. We're going to see if they're just going to let it die to a burn here. But we actually see a U-turn, surprisingly enough. To take out the Cyclizar. I'm surprised we did not see Trailblaze there. Goodra is going to come in. Umbreon is going to come in at this point as well. Draco Meteor is able to take out the Umbreon. We are now at a 3-2 standing with Lycanroc Dusk being out. Goes for a close combat to 63%. Will it die to Surf? No, it does not. Living at 77%. Even after the minus special defense drop. Actually insane. Another close combat to take out Goodra. Now we see Rotom Mow finally come in. Obviously threatening that it is Scarf. We're going to see a Protect here and then Leaf Storm. Now we're going to see a switch into Ursaluna, so Lycanroc is going to get rid of its special defense drops. So potentially there is a hope here. There may be a chance here. Ursaluna is going to die to this Leaf Storm. Also really excellent switch here because if Ursaluna ever comes in at the end, it just dies to burn anyways. So Ursaluna is the sack here. Here we have Lycanroc Dust coming in. Tera Fire. It's getting close, folks. Tera Fire, is this Scarf Rotom? It is not. Tera Fire, Fire Fang taking out Slitherwing. Here comes Slitherwing. They do not have first impression, so Trailblaze, Wild Charge, Close Combat, they are going to be outsped, and a Close Combat is going to be able to pick off the Slitherwing in the end. A 1-0 victory for the Marvel Falls to end off the season. An insanely close match. Marvel Falls is officially the Kalos champion for season 3. Absolutely insane match. Came down to the absolute wire. Rotom Mow was literally bluffing Scarf at the end to fake out the Lycanroc. I thought it was game as soon as Rotom Mow was in, which is actually insane. And a lot of people were telling me there was a lot of hype going around this match. I think a lot of people, listen, no judgment because the stakes are high, but I do hear from a lot of folks in the Kalos Division that turn, what is it, 27 here, if Slitherwing actually went for the Trailblaze here, they're almost like guaranteed to win. Almost, because basically you Trailblaze here, you get the +1 speed. So Lycanroc obviously has to Excel Rock you. I don't know the calc off the head, but apparently it does not, because Excel Rock, I think, is it. Let's do some calcs live. How about that? Let's have some fun. So because it's not stab anymore, look at Lycanroc Dusk, all out attacker. It's obviously not choice band. I think it's most likely expert belt. We'll run with Jolly. Slitherwing obviously looked like it was offensive for sure. Don't know if it was banned, but we are obviously just concerned about limiting Excel Rock. So if Lycanroc is Jolly, obviously does 30 to 36%. Electric doesn't matter. obviously it would live 1 Excel Rock, meaning that after Slitherwing Trailblaze here got the +1 speed. Ursaluna, if Ursaluna ever comes out, you just Trailblaze again, and Umbreon, if whenever Umbreon comes out, you close combat to get the -1 speed drop, and then you switch out on Lycanroc Duskull for Excel Rock, and then between I think you would always sack Rotom, and then with Goodra in the back, then you just surfs twice to win. But maybe that's a little bit more clear cut than it actually is. But yeah, insanely close. Obviously, there was a lot of potential for Pittsburgh Scissors to win, but I'm sure they'll be back for next season to take back their title that they lost. But Marble Falls is the Season 3 Kalos champion, meaning they are moving up to Unova, the Unova division, which will be very interesting to see. And as well as, I believe, Kingston Cleavors is another person that's moving up to Unova. I don't know if Pittsburgh Scissors is moving up. I don't think so. I'd have to double check that. But Marble Falls, Kingston Cleavors for sure moving up to Unova. Very, very exciting season here. Make sure to also check out Storm Flying's channel. I believe that he's going over Unova semis and finals. So make sure to check out that as well. And we will also have Season 4 soon, sometime in October. So we're going to have a draft date, and we're going to be using DLC mods, and we're going to be having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, make sure to stick around for that. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.